Hey there, this is Dave Gardner, your Now Lifestyle Master Trainer, and I'm super excited to be getting into the next video with you right now. All right, in this video, we're going to talk about adding your own campaign, and this is likely your first campaign if this is the first time you're in here watching this video. And so possibly when you first joined again with Now Lifestyle and you're looking at the email autoresponder, you checked out the stats, you checked out the list, and you saw that when we first got in, there was no campaigns. And after this campaign has been added that you're going to create, you will now have your first campaign that's in the list that's your personal campaign. In the other video, we did possibly see the idea of adding a shared campaign for maybe a team member or how you can share it. And we'll talk about that more in depth later in some of the other videos. We just want to show you the process of creating a campaign. It's really quick and easy. And so first thing you need to do is you have to have a campaign name that of course wants to be consistent and basically on the mainstream of what you're actually doing. So in the other video, I talked about being able to segment and have different campaigns. Like let's say you have a dog list and the first list you want to do is dog lovers. Get something generic to have them opt into. And then later on, you can segment them as they go through maybe your funnel. Maybe you have something set up with the landing page builder that's inside this. And what happens over time is maybe you put them into different lists. Maybe you have a buyer's list, and maybe you have people that are just on your free list. So what we want to do, let's just type in dog lovers. So we're just going to create a list. So you have to have a campaign name. You do not necessarily have to have a description. That's just something that you can have if you want to have it here. So we could just type in, dog lovers general list. But this part is not necessary. Now, this part right here, we want to pay attention to these parts right here because these parts are really important, because when people opt in, they're going to start getting emails from you, and you want to make sure things are aligned correctly. So if you want to have your name be the thing that the people get the email from, you're going to put your physical name in this box. But if let's say you have a brand, maybe you want the email to come from the brand. So maybe your website is called Dog Lovers. You might want it to say from Dog Lovers. Or maybe there's a person in the dog lover group that you want to have that into. So that's something you can play around with, and you can always go back and edit your campaigns. When we looked earlier, we talked about under the list, you could actually go in and you can actually edit your campaigns. Okay, so you can click on that to edit that later on. And so when we do this, a lot of times it just makes sense if you want to be personal with your list, put your own name. So for example, I'm going to have mine from Dave Gardner. So for example, talking about me, because I want to brand myself. When people get the email, they know it's from me and they know it's from my list. Like I said, if you want to have it with your name, or if you want to have it geared towards your specific thing, you can put that on there. Now, the reply to email and the notification emails are two totally different things. So when someone opts in, they're going to start getting and receiving your email messages, and they should be able to respond to you. That's what your reply to email is. The notification email is the email that you personally get when someone opts into your list. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that you check this box down here at the bottom that says notify about a new subscriber. So it's really exciting every time you get a new subscriber to your list, because now you know your list is growing. So I think it's one of the best things to get those email notifications from Now Lifestyle that I'm actually getting a new subscriber into my AutoResponder series. And so that means I have a growing list of people that I can communicate, that I can train, and that I could even sell some products to, right? That's the goal with the business, is that you are going to make sales. Yes, you want to help people out, but the goal, of course, of business is to make some money. Okay, so make sure you check that you notify about a new subscriber. Now, if you feel that you have a list that you're getting thousands and thousands of subscribers and it's blowing up your email system, you can always close that off and uncheck it so you don't get notified. But it's nice to have that in there. Okay. Now, as far as the emails go, I have a generic email like my Gmail. So for example, notice this pops up. It says that the domain is protected, DMARC. Our system will automatically change your from email address to comply. If your reply to email is not protected, it will be used as the from email as well. So what happens is, if you think about something like Gmail, AOL, Hotmail, just regular email providers, if all of a sudden the program that we're using now, Lifestyle, is sending something else and someone else is receiving those messages from something like Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, so on and so forth, what they really want to do is make sure that it's protected through the system. And so it may actually just tweak it a little bit. And instead of saying, barefootpainting@gmail.com, it will also say like via or, through the Now Lifestyle service. Okay, it's just protecting it, adding another layer of protection and privacy for that. Now, I want to show you a way to get rid of this. You don't necessarily have to do this. I usually keep my notification email as my generic Gmail because it's a lot easier and it's the one that I check frequently. Now, if we use my domain-based email, so we'll go back here, we got Dave Gardner at the David Gardner, and notice that box is now gone away because it's an actual domain. Now, when you are the owner of an actual domain, that's going to hold some weight showing that you're a legitimate business versus just sending someone emails from Gmail. If they come just from Gmail or AOL, then the AOL and Gmail providers might think that, maybe it's not a legitimate business. And again, that's why now Lifestyle puts that protective layer over for you. Now, this whole idea of a domain name, we're going to get more in detail if you actually go into the Authority Website Builder, and if you've actually do a domain purchase through Now Lifestyle, we'll go more in detail in that and getting emails, so on and so forth, getting your own email set up. So you want to make sure you have those. Now, as far as the unsubscribe and activation text, you can actually go in here and you can edit it. It's not recommended though, because these are things that have to be in every email as far as click to unsubscribe. So, you could just say something like, if you wish to not receive further emails, click here to unsubscribe. You can edit this, but it's not recommended. As far as activation, click here to join. That's when someone will actually be a pending member. Okay, we mentioned pending members in some of the other videos. And so if you have a pending member or when you do your forms and your subscribers, if you have pending because you set it up as a double opt-in, you need to have them receive a verification email where they click it to receive that. Now, you've probably done that with some other businesses. You've opted in, and then all of a sudden you go to a secondary page called a bridge page that just says, hey, thank you for opting in. Please go check your email right now and verify that you want to receive future or further emails from us. Then you go into you open up your email and you just say, click here to join. And then all of a sudden you start getting that follow-up series. So the next thing you need is the company name and a website URL. The company name isn't very important. Okay, it's nothing that's necessary, but again, it might be just something that holds it to what you're actually seeing. So we'll just call it Dog Lovers. Let's just say let's say your website's doglovers.com. And the website URL, this is an important thing, okay? So this is where after someone opts in, they're going to be redirected. So again, the website redirects page or redirect page after a subscriber opts into your newsletter if the thank you page isn't specified in the form. Now, we're going to get more in depth of that up here in the forms videos later on. But let's say, again, someone opts in, they see your main page, let's say it's a free report on training your dog, and they opt in, they're expecting the report, and instead maybe they go to a bridge video that shows you, petting your dog and just says, hey, my name is so-and-so, welcome to my page. What I need you to do right now is go into your email and to check to click to verify that you want to get the report and to protect, your privacy, so on and so forth. Then they're going to go into their email and they're going to click that join link in the email, and then they're going to be redirected. So let's say, for example, you go to, let's say you own you wouldn't say that, but let's say you own doglovers.com. You would say, okay, let's go to doglovers.com / maybe thank you report. I can spell here. Or maybe it's, dog, training, something. Whatever that thank you report is, that's where they would be redirected so they could get that information. So once you're all done, again, it's relatively simple. I've spent probably 10 times more talking about it than will actually take place, but hopefully it makes sense. Again, my job as being a master teacher is to walk you through it so that we know every single thing, because I want you to become a master teacher in here as well so that you can start to help others when they have questions on your team. So all you're going to do at the end, you're going to click this little button at the bottom, create. We're going to let it refresh. And what's going to happen is it's going to be added to our list. So notice now I have 2 lists in here. This is the one that we brought in. If you watched the list video, I showed you how to create a shared campaign or pull in a shared campaign from another person. I used my other account. So we're going to get rid of this. It says it was updated. And I just created the Dog Lovers account. Again, no subscribers so far. No one's unsubscribed because I haven't started using it yet. This is private to me. Okay, so now I'm the owner. I can play around with it. And I can go in, like we mentioned before, I can go in and edit it. So let's say I want to change something. So let's go back and change this one, for example. So let's say we got this shared campaign. I want to go in and change it and edit it because what happens is it brought over possibly other information. So there's information in here that's generic to the demo account. So I want to change this and I want to change where it goes. So instead of saying demo account, I want it to say from Dave Gardner. Instead of the GVO email, I want it to say Dave Gardner at thedavidgardner.com. And notification email, again, I like to just keep it generic with my Gmail. But again, you can choose whatever emails you want. So I can go through and I can just change this so that when people are now on my team and getting these follow-ups, they're actually going to be getting emails from me. If you don't do this, this is a crucial thing. If you get a shared campaign and if you don't change your settings, then what's going to happen is, and again, we want to do this and we want to click that notify new subscriber. We want to click edit. What would happen is you would never get the notifications and they would also be sent a wrong email. So maybe the emails would go out, but perhaps the emails that the replied to were going to someone else. So, maybe someone on your team got a shared campaign from you and they're wondering like, hey, why aren't you responding to me? And you're like, hey, I never got those messages. It's because you possibly didn't go back and edit. So you have to do the due diligence to go through and make sure that if you do ever do a shared campaign, that you physically go in and check to edit your own. And if you are sharing campaigns with teammates, make sure you remind your team to go in and to edit their details as well. So again, this has been the ad campaign. It's pretty quick and simple. If you want to add another campaign, you can add as many campaigns as you want. Just remember, keep things focused in the beginning. You can keep things general, and then you become more specific as time goes on. Again, this has been Dave Gardner. Thank you for watching along with this training video. Hopefully you found some immense value. If you have any questions or comments, you can always join us and hit us up in the Facebook group or support tab up top. We really want to hear about your successes with these tools and how you're actually implementing them into your niche, because we want to help the family out. So as I always say, you get out of it what you put into it. And the big question that I always have for you is, with all these awesome tools that you have in the Now Lifestyle family, what will you create to make your legacy? And what will you create to help others so that you can make a difference in the world today?